boy. They had you written down coy and settled in life's medicine. Don't stop the noise, I'm settled in. Oh, but time's passing by. Give me something to believe in. I don't wanna play no games. I'm too told in my ways. I don't wanna leave. Give me something to believe in. Just give me something to believe in. Just give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. I've been taken for a fool, I've been blinded, and your love's got a hold of my mindset. Don't sit and worry what the world says. Oh, but time, it is passing by, and I need Give me something to believe in. I don't wanna play no games. I'm too told in my ways. I don't wanna leave. Give me something to believe in. Just give me something to believe in. Just give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. Don't stop the night, I won't stop tonight. Don't stop the night, I won't stop tonight. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. Just give me something, 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 something. Give me something to believe in. I don't wanna play no games. I'm too told in my ways. I don't wanna leave. Give me something to believe in. Just give me something.
Here it comes. Free kick, last action of the game. Branches! Got it! Top corner! Mario Branches sends Carrero absolutely crazy!
Welcome to All in Yellow.
The official Norwich City podcast.
Today we're speaking to a former player, youth team coach and manager at the club. And he's certainly done it all at Carrow Road, so we're very excited to be chatting with Neil Adams today.
Prided myself on my deliveries. You know, I could put the ball into the box where the two centre forwards would want it to be. And saying two centre forwards pretty much tells you how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But also there was the media as well. And
Canary call?
how I got into the media was
Don't say it. Don't
Hello,
say
Neil.
It. There it is. She said it.
I wanted to say
wasn't
it all
you,
day.
was it?
I was desperate it wasn't going to be me to say that. Thanks, Trevor.
Where's Barry? He's not in, is he? We found a house that we still live in now. That's 20 minutes away from the city centre, but it's in the countryside and it's lovely. But the first night when we turned the lights off to go to sleep, it was just black. You could not
quiet.
see your hand in front of you. It was like, wow.
And you missed one penalty, was
I
it?
missed one for Norwich, yeah. I was, I had a cold that day though, and I slipped, and the goalkeeper moved, and the sun was in my eyes, and
We'll give you that one off
As
then.
if you focused on the one he missed. And
tell you,
scored 18
That
of
is
your
mean,
19.
I know. Yes,
18 of 19, I mean. It's not
That's
bad,
pretty
18
good
of 19, is it?
going.
I've tried that, but it's not where I want to be. But it's taking so long. I'll take you on, and I'll take you on. So move along, 'cause it's my turn, and don't forget I'm blacking out, won't you give me what I need? There's no way out, so I'll do what I can. It's taking so long. I've got a lot to learn, did you give something to do? But it's taking so long. I'll take you on, and I'll take you on. So move along, 'cause it's my turn, it's my turn. I'll take you on, and I'll take you on. So move along, 'cause it's my turn, it's my turn. I'll take you on, and I'll take you on. So move along, 'cause it's my turn, and don't forget.
Time.
Excited!
Amazing!
Yes, back. What a sight for sore eyes. Fans are finally returning to Carrow Road, which feels like an absolute lifetime since we've seen some life in those stands. And hopefully Norwich City, the players, can produce a performance today to put them at the back of the top of the Championship table after a disappointing result against Luton in the week. We've got lots coming up on the show again today. We're going to hear from Anel Hernandez, who's going to tell us all about the new Junior Canaries website. We've got Jeremy Goss, who's joined us on the gantry to watch the game. And we also hear from John Newsom, a former Canary and Owl, later on in the stadium. So, Rob.
Yeah, good day.
Good day, innit? I mean, just seeing some fans back in here now, it's great, isn't it? You know, we can't see them visually behind us here, but they're in the stands here. 2,000 of me today. Is that going to make a difference? Just seeing some life about the place, it just feels different.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely driving in. You mean like you see the smiles and the skip on the supporters, like anticipation just to actually get into a football ground to watch some football. But I think it's going to be a massive boost for Norwich. I think what was evident on Wednesday against Luton, I think they only had 1,000 in. And it gave them the energy, and we said this.
Do you think that really made a difference to Luton's performance?
Yeah, I think so. The amount of games that the boys are playing at the moment, the energy levels, obviously with the injuries as well, the squad's not being rotated as much as probably the manager would like. So the energy levels are down, and when we played as well, a good vibrant crowd just sort of like give you that energy and that boost and whatnot. And I saw that in Luton's play on Wednesday, and sort of like, where it was giving Luton energy, it was sort of like sucking what little energy Norwich had. And it was one of those games where you put down and say, oh, listen, we were well beaten.
And interestingly enough, the game the other night against Luton spread their fans around the whole stadium. Norwich have got them just in one area in the Gerrard stand. I mean, do you think that will make a difference at all? Or?
No, I think Luton did it because they've got like a 12,000 seat stadium, and I think it was better to do that. Here, you've got like a big stadium, and I think if you spread 500 in each stand, it wouldn't have the same effect. 2,000 congregated in this stand below us will make a bigger noise, and hopefully the noise that they make will echo around the ground. But like I say, it's the start of getting back, hopefully, to like as normal as we can. And to have 2,000 people in the stadium is a real boost for everyone.
Yeah, and we've got the teams for today. There's a couple of changes. Timo Pukki is back, so they have an out-and-out striker back in the team. Vrancic is taking the place of Teti today, and Stiepermann will fit back into his number 10 role. That looks a bit more like a Norwich team we're used to seeing, isn't it? That's with one change, Pukki.
Absolutely, but Pukki's the striker that we've been missing over the last couple of games, and it was just as he started to score again, he sadly got injured at Stoke. So to have him back in the team is a massive boost, like to only lose him for 2 games. But like I say, he's been missing, like Stiepermann, Placetta, who's ever played up front in the last 2 games. It's not been their fault. They've tried their best. They've tried to do things that they think a striker would do, but they don't. Pukki makes such fantastic runs in his timings and whatever. And for the likes of Skip and Buendia, if they've got someone up front making those runs, they can just put the ball in an area. He'll be on it because he'll know where they're going.
You mentioned Skip there. He's been vocal during the week talking about how difficult it's been to play without a recognised striker. I mean, is that something you'd expect to hear from a midfielder? Is that just because they lost the game? He's thinking we didn't really have an outlet? Do they make different runs? Is it just about kind of telepathically knowing where a centre forward is going to be? And if you're a midfielder and you haven't got someone who's quite used to that, does it make your job more difficult?
Yeah, I think it does. And the way Norwich play now, it's not a case of, right, everyone push up to the halfway line, keeper kicks it to the big striker, that would have been Stiepermann in that case or whatever, and we'll just look around to get the second balls. Norwich don't play that way no more. And I think it's more methodical, and like they'll be playing it through the lines and whatever. Like, and what Skip's probably saying is, we never had a striker up there who knows the runs. Yeah. Basically, they're on their way, they can spin, and they don't need to know because we'll see them. But I think what Stiepermann and Placetta have done, they sort of like go towards the ball. So like they're not giving them no options other than the 10, 15-yard ball into feet. So to have a striker like Pukki who knows, right, I'm gonna make this run. I might not get it all the time, but people like Skip and Buendia will see him and they will put the balls in those spaces.
Yeah, and it feels like a proper football match today, doesn't it? Because there's fans in the stadium. Thankfully, we managed to get a few back. It's a team of Sheffield Wednesday who have got tradition, heritage, real heritage to them. So Norwich against Sheffield Wednesday feels like a really good fixture as well. But we shouldn't look too much into where Sheffield Wednesday are on the table. They had the points deduction at the start of the season. Are they a better team than what we're probably seeing in terms of the table?
Yeah, just looking at the table. They're on 9 points. 21 points if they hadn't had the 12-point deduction would have put them like I think 10th or 11th in the table. They're a strong unit. They're like a fantastic club with history. they've just got a new manager in, and I've just been looking at the results over the last 5 games. They've not conceded no more than 1 goal in those games.
We'll talk about him a little bit later. But looking at Sheffield Wednesday's team then as a squad, how do they adjust to the start of the season when they are 12 points deducted at the start? As a player, how difficult must that be? Because every season you go into, you kind of think, let's try and get promotion, especially a team like Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at, well, as long as we stay up is the main aim, isn't it? Or can you still see them getting anywhere near the playoff places?
I think they're not looking for playoff places this year. You know what I mean? They just need to stay in the division. Just staying in the division, they would have done remarkably well, because starting off with a point deduction, 12 points, is soul destroying. But you can sort of like look at it as a player, as a team, collectively. You can either say, right, listen, this is going to be our motivation. We're going to show them. They've taken these points away from us through no fault of our own, the players, for whatever reason. So it's give them that motivation for them to be in sort of like the plus so early in the season. They've still got over half of season left. You know what I mean? Like I say, I think they're 2 points off, like getting out of the bottom 3. Yeah. So they're in a good position from where they were. I think they've done really, really well, and just sort of like consolidation in the championship this season will be good enough for them. Yeah, we're going to talk to someone now who probably must have scored in his time against Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League when we played them, and that's Jeremy Goss joins us now. Gossy, did you ever play against Sheffield Wednesday and score? You must have scored against them in that season you had. You must have done.
No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
The only one.
Their neighbours, Sheffield United, I think I scored against. Header, 18-yard box. So it's very, very rare that I headed the ball, but that occasion I was lucky enough it went in. I think we won that game as well.
And what does it feel like to be, as we just talked to Rob about, seeing the fans back in the stadium and just a little bit of atmosphere and a proper traditional fixture as well, in Norwich against Sheffield Wednesday? Oh,
look, under the circumstances that we're going through here, this is a terrific atmosphere today. The music's blaring, the fans are singing. I, like Rob, walked into the stadium with other fans, and I couldn't quite understand it because I wasn't used to that. But it is building up to be a lovely occasion here, a wonderful opportunity for Norwich to, as Rob said again, receive the energy from the fans. And Daniel Farke has mentioned that with the lacking of the fans getting behind the team. Today's a good opportunity to get right behind the team. 2,000 fans will make a difference to the players, that's for sure.
And Gossy, you're probably someone more than anyone who can understand going from probably playing in front of 70-odd thousand at Old Trafford to then maybe, a few weeks before playing the reserves, not really having too many people there. How do you switch between the two and taking note of no one in the stadium to then having players back and fans back again?
You've got to focus on the job that you're there to do, whether there's fans in the stadium or whether there's not. And in particular, in the Premier League, Project Restart last year was a real downturn for Norwich City. Maybe because of the fans, who knows? But I really do think their absence played a role in deterioration of the form of the players. This year, it started off likewise, but I think they've got used to it. Now the fans are back in. It's going to make a big difference. But you've just focused on your job that you've got to do on that day, whether it's a training game, a practice match, or like today, a serious game.
And Gossy, looking at how Norwich has done so far this season, with the circumstances they're under, it's been a brilliant start. Take the Luton result out during the week. It's been a good effort by Norwich so far, isn't it, considering the situation?
Yeah, you're right. I remember the Derby game here where we was all over them. We had nearly 70% of possession and we lost the game 1-0 from a Wayne Rooney fantastic free kick. They then went on to win 4 out of 5 games and push themselves into the top of the league. And I think they're judged, most definitely they need the results at home to get the points to stay in the top of the league, but their games away from home have been really, really impressive. In particular, that Bristol City victory was really surprising to many. I thought Bristol were flying at the start of the season and Norwich beat them. They went away and beat Middlesbrough, they beat Stoke, so the away performances have been exceptional.
And we talked a little while ago about Ollie Skipp mentioning this week how he's found it difficult to play without a recognised striker. Gossy, you're a midfielder. Did you ever have an instance where you weren't playing with a striker? Did it make things more difficult for you from a midfielder's point of view, or did it give you more of a free licence to get forward and score the goals you did?
Well, defensively, when you get the ball, you're looking for an out. You either go wide or you go forward, and the guy up front that you lean on to hold on to the ball to give you time and space to get forward and get out of your penalty area is lacking if there isn't a recognised striker. So whoever plays up front has got to be showing for the ball all the time. And if there isn't anybody, it is really difficult because you lose possession quickly, you get caught on the ball, you're too slow in recognising who's on, who's available. So with Pookie back, 7 goals already this year, his movement, like you've already discussed, is exceptional for a striker. He's going to be a big plus here today.
Yeah, and apparently we can see Delia down on the pitch at the moment as well, around near the players are. She's fully COVID masked up and everything, but wonderful to see her. I mean, she must be delighted after obviously losing her mum recently as well, which is obviously awful news for everybody concerned. But great to see her back and coming out and recognise the fans that are here.
Yeah, what a lovely touch that is, because it's essential. We're a family football club, we're a fans football club. Delia makes the remarks all the time that, please, Mr. Government, can we have our fans back in the stadium? And she's got her wish to a certain degree today, and it's only going to get better. With the vaccine that's going to be introduced to the country, I'm sure more and more fans will be introduced to sport in arenas like this. And I just think it's brilliant that Delia now, she really, really does focus her attention on the football club more than ever before, and she appreciates most definitely the fans that support the club.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She almost looks a little bit emotional there, Gossie, as well. I think the whole occasion of just seeing some fans back in, which is essentially her football club, her and Michael's football club, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Magnificent. They have been sorely missed, but this is a one-off, a pandemic that hopefully we will never see again. So when it did come and when it did arrive, there were big, big changes. And to the sporting arenas around the country, it was the biggest change, because players had to adapt in front of playing against teams, Premier League sides, Championship sides with no fans, and adapt to that mentally. And so did Delia, and so did the people running the club behind the scenes. It's been a huge challenge for everybody, but thankfully we're getting through it.
And it just feels like a completely different atmosphere, Gossie. There's only 2,000 fans here today, and Delia and Michael come out on the pitch, but it feels very different, doesn't it? It feels more, and Rob said, it can give you that extra lift as a player when you are feeling tired, you are feeling jaded in games. Just to have that atmosphere around you and people around you can give everybody a lift.
Absolutely does. Yeah, you always lent on the fans. Okay, when things are going bad, you lean on them to pick you up and cheer you on. When things are going great, they inspire you even more. I was a player who got a lot of energy and a lot of positiveness from the fans. So to get 2,000 back today will make a difference. I just cannot wait to see 28,000 fans back here at Carrow Road, and what a lift that will give everybody.
Well, it'd be even more of a lift, Gossie, if you had your boots with you. You can get out and score one of those goals you normally score today. But thanks for joining us, mate. We'll see you at half-time.
Okay, pleasure.
He's just talked about it there, isn't he? But it does. You can just hear it in the background of us sitting here now. It just feels more vibrant. The whole place does. Big lift.
You hear cheers, you hear clapping. You know what I mean? Like Delia's just come out there and like just give them another lift and whatever. Like you hear 2,000 people clapping them. We've gone from silence, watching football in silence, like to hearing like clapping and shouting and a rendition of On the Ball City is going like every 5 minutes. So it's fantastic, and like Gossie said, the moment we get 28,000 back in here, it can't come quick enough. But to have 2,000 is a massive step forward.
So today's game, then, what does it hinge on today?
I think Norwich will have the energy. I think they would have been hurt by Wednesday, even though we say we'll put it down to one of those games. They would have been hurt by that. They will hopefully have said to themselves, right, listen, let's get it. We've got a good resolve in the squad. Basically, we've got players coming back. We've got a main striker in the team now. Let's go out and start another run. You know what I mean? That's what got Norwich to the top of the table.
We can see the recent results of both teams now, and
the run. Well, I mean, not Luton, but those other wins. I mean, like Gossie said, Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Stokes. Well, they're all going to be challenges of Norwich. They've been away to 3 of those teams and one game. Forget the Luton game. This is a new start. Let's get even to the end of December. Yeah. Let's get through December without getting beaten, and they'll still be top on January the 1st.
Yeah, but 2 good teams here today. And we can chat to someone now who's had a foot in both camps, a former captain of Norwich City as well at some point. John Newsom, thanks for joining us, mate.
You're welcome, mate. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, let's just start with Sheffield Wednesday first of all. You played there for many years, still connected with the club heavily. The appointment of Pulis was, for you, is it a good thing, a bad thing? Because I look on social media and I kind of read lots of things, and it doesn't seem they're delighted or wouldn't have been a first choice for Sheffield Wednesday.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Darren. He wasn't anybody's first choice, I don't think. Probably, I think maybe because of the style of football that people think that he plays or what's connected to him. And also I think the fact that he'd been out of the game for quite a long time. And the supporters, you know what it's like. Sometimes the supporters get a little bit carried away. And there was some of the names that were bandied around on social media. It's just ridiculous, really. But then, personally, I think it is actually being a very good appointment for the club. I think the last 4 or 5 years, the club have really been in turmoil, up and sort of like on and off the field, up and down. They have been. They got close, to the playoff. We got in the playoff final 4 or 5 years ago when basically they gambled everything and threw a load of money at it and bought better players. We had a better product on the pitch. That failed, and as with every gamble, if you lose, it hurts, and it's hurt the football club off the field, which obviously transpires into on the pitch. And so I think it's needed somebody who's got stability. An old head, somebody who would be good for the new chairman as well, who's only been in the game 4 or 5 years, obviously got loads to learn. And I think somebody like Tony Pulis will steady the ship and just put us back on the right path, really.
Yeah, it's interesting. Considering the points deduction that you had at the start of the season, I was speaking to Rob earlier, how difficult is that to motivate the players to try and gain that success this year? Because surely all they're aiming for is to make sure they stay in the division.
Oh, massive. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I thought we had a half-decent transfer window in the summer, and yet I thought that would have been our Achilles heel, really, because yourself, how do you sell your club to a player when you're starting the season on minus 12 points? It's a really hard sell, but they managed to get some bodies in. The 12 points was deducted on appeal to 6 points, which was an absolute godsend, a massive bonus to them. And so it gives you just a little bit of appetite to go into the season and try and get something out of it, where in reality it was just literally a means of trying to stay in the league and finishing, anywhere above bottom third, really. Whereas I think with that 6 points deduction now, it gives them a little bit more chance to get up the league, and who knows? It's a crazy league. Everybody can beat everybody else on the day. We've seen what's happened with no fans, how football's been turned on its head, really. And so I think they've just got to. I mean, it's cliche. They've just got to take it one game at a time, but see how far it takes them.
And just very quickly on Sheffield Wednesday, the last part. I mean, where do we see the squad now? What should Norwich expect from this Sheffield Wednesday team today? Pretty resolute, I'd imagine, from Pulis.
Yeah, they're resolute. They've struggled all season to score goals. They've struggled since January last year when Stephen Fletcher got injured, and they were flying high, third in the Championship, and ever since that, and then he left in the summer and went to Stoke, and they struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. I watched the game on Wednesday. They'll sit with either a back 4 and 5 in front of them and one up top, or it'll be a back 5 with 4 in front and one up top, and they'll just try and frustrate Norwich all afternoon and hit you on the break and try and nick a goal and do a bit of a smash and grab, really. But I think what Tony Pulis has done is he's come in and he's had to solidify the squad and the team and stop us conceding goals, because they have leaked goals. So I think that's been his main aim. So yeah, I think you're going to see Norwich with plenty of the ball, plenty of attacking play, and Sheffield Wednesday sitting there trying to frustrate it.
Okay, well, just give us a few thoughts of your memories on Norwich and your time spent here, because everybody likes this club when they come here, right?
Absolutely loved it, mate. Yeah, loved it. It was probably the best time of my career, even though it was probably the least successful with us being relegated the first year. But I enjoyed my football down there. I loved the club. I loved the area. The dressing room, the set of lads were second to none. I really enjoyed my time down there. Massive fond memories for it, and still have to this day. I still look out for the results, and I still wish them well and hope they do well. Real fond memories of the place.
Well, when we can, mate, we'll get you in the studio, back in the NR1 live studio, and come and join us in here. But what's your score prediction for today? Are you going to firmly sit on the fence?
Yeah, I think I'm going to sit on the fence, really. Get the splinters out. I think if Sheffield Wednesday could get a draw out of it, then that would be a really good result for them.
Okay, mate. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll speak to you again at half-time.
No problem, mate. Look forward to it.
That was sitting on the fence, wasn't it? He's expecting probably a defeat for Sheffield Wednesday. You'd think, wouldn't you?
By the
way he was
sounds
talking.
By the sounds of it. But like you said, solidity is the main aim for them this year. They're a strong team. They have got good players. And in a manager now, I think they've got a manager that's got a reputation for taking teams out of the mire. And that's what he's been brought in for. It's not about expansive football, it's about getting results, getting them into a set, regimented style of play where they will not concede. Like we said earlier, they've only conceded one. No more than one over the last 5 games.
But he talked about goals being an issue, and they've got Jordan Rhodes on the bench, who was successful here in his time in Norwich. Probably a little unlucky he didn't get signed here. So, is it sometimes players don't fit right systems for certain managers?
No, I think it's the manager coming in with the mindset saying, listen, let's forget about scoring goals, because in the past it seemed like they had to score 3 goals to even get into the game. Now, let's get the defence sorted out, let's get the midfield so we're nice and strong and solid, and then we can worry about scoring goals later on when we've sorted that out.
And just very quickly, didn't John Newsom take your place in the team?
He did. Not that I'm bitter and twisted, you know what I mean? I think, John did really well for us, you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously, like, players, they're in squads, that's what they're for, but obviously the manager liked him better than me.
Always the way, innit? Always the way. It's tough, mate.
It's tough, but you take it.
Yeah,
big shoulders. Let's
look at the 2 managers again today, Daniel Farker and Tony Pulis. We've got a head-to-head of these two. A very kind of traditional old-school manager and someone who's relatively new to English football. I mean, stats on, you look at Pulis' stats, 28 years in management, that's some time, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's spanned decades, which is quite rare nowadays.
Yeah, he's one of the old like firm, basically, your Alan Curbishley's, your Pardew's, Sam Allardyce's. I mean, he knows what's needed for certain football clubs. Sheffield Wednesday need to get out of the mire they were in at the start of the season. He started the process of that. Farker is new to this. He's not probably been in this scenario where a team has been struggling about him and I have to find a formula. My teams play expansive, or they've been successful. Okay, they come down from the Premier League, but actually getting in the Premier League is a fantastic achievement. But in the Premier League, in the Championship, when he's been manager, they've never really struggled. They've been like a shining light.
Yeah, well, look, it's never easy in the Championship. You can't win every single game, can you?
Uh-huh.
Here's the highlights from Luton. Take a look.
Into Martin, who goes under his feet, but will this fall for a Norwich player? No, it doesn't. It gets lofted into the night sky by Luton, up into the air. This is a good tussle between Collins and Hanley, and there's a coming together, and Collins wins that one.
I think James Collins was just looking to get him behind him.
It's been taken quickly out to this left-hand side. Moncur driving into the box, shot towards the far post. It's in! It's in! 15 minutes gone, and the Canaries find themselves behind. Well, there could be a chance here for Norwich. There's a ball over the top. Shemi Paqueta is running into it. He could be one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Is he taken down? Is he taken down? He is! It's taken by Buendia. It sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and it's 1-1. Emi Buendia from the penalty spot. Just 2 or 3 minutes later, after the Canaries went behind, it's Luton 1, Norwich 1. Be taken from the far side. Ball is curled in to the box. There's a flicked header, and it's in! And Luton go back in front. We've just seen a penalty given against Norwich City. A ball put into the box. Grant Hanley had been forced to the floor, had fallen to the floor and caught a hand to the ball. And Luton have been given a penalty. Collins walks on the spot, plays it in. It's in, it's comfortably played in. McGovern had gone down to his left-hand side. And it's Luton 3, Norwich City 1.
Disappointing result, of course, Rob, on the night, but another silver lining to every cloud. There was another youngster making his debut, Tyrese Omotoy, as we can see here. Brilliant for him, and a different scenario for him today. He's at home, making your home debut potentially in front of some fans, his home fans. How much of a different feeling is that going to be for him? You can always see he's got a smile on his face already, hasn't he?
Fantastic. He's involved in the squad, Darren. Like, you mean, and then on Wednesday, Luton, we said maybe he could have come on a bit earlier, but listen. He must have been proud as punch on that coach coming home on Wednesday. I've made my first team debut. Now and again, 3 days later, I'm in the squad again. Yes, there's 2,000 fans there. It's another emotion that he's going to have to realise today and whatever. But what a great emotion to take.
But that's what they have to learn, isn't it? That's this opportunity. As much as he made his debut at Luton, there was 1,000 fans there. 2,000 here today. That's very different to when this place is going to be full with 27,000 making your debut. So is it a good way of just breaking these youngsters in a little bit?
It is really. When you talk about it in that way, like say 2,000 today, next month there'll be like 4,000, then there could be 8,000. It's perfect for the youngsters, isn't it? Just to come in and tiptoe their way through the procedure of making your first team debut and becoming a regular, hopefully.
Yeah, and you talk about the youngsters then, there's obviously quite a few of them on the bench as well, but what about for the older players in that scenario? Is it nice for them to see more fans coming back and slowly build that up, as much as they'd wanted 27,000 here?
Yeah, people like, we've criticised Emi Buendia. Emi Buendia loves playing when there's a crowd. He loves playing for the crowd. He would have hated playing the last 8 months without no fans. He is a showboat on the pitch, and a good one at that. He creates it, and he likes the adulation that the supporters give him, and quite rightly so, because he is a talented footballer. So people like that and the older ones, they will just love having fans back in here and recognising the efforts and the ability that these guys are trying to show on the pitch.
He's got new boots on today, I've noticed. He's had his white ones on most of the season. He's got his green ones on today. He's kept them fresh, new style coming out. But it is, doesn't it? You see all the boys there. There almost seems a little bit more of a buzz about them as well. The energy levels just seem lifted, and they all look up for a game. And the fact that they lost during the week against Luton, they want to bounce back and take themselves back to the top of the table.
Yeah, it's a double whammy there. They lost Luton. They're back in their home now. They've got fans watching them. Fans will be shouting them, giving them encouragement as well. So everything is earmarked for a really good and energetic performance today to prove that the 10 games before Luton were no fluke. They're on a mission now to start today with a positive result, and like I said, go through December unbeaten.
And how important is that when you have had such a good run? You don't want to slip into a poor run. Now you want to, they had the odd blip, of course you do, but you want to make sure you bounce back quite quick.
Absolutely, and I think that good run of 10 results get you to the top of it, and it sort of like gives you an out if you have one bad result, but you can't afford to have another bad result, because then you have two bad results, and it's sort of like a domino effect then, like winning, like we know. But like I say, today's an important just to wipe that one away Wednesday and start with a win here.
Yeah, good stuff. We've got the launch of the new Junior Canaries website to show you at half time, but we will see you then. Enjoy the game.